So with Halloween upon us, well, at least when I uploaded this video anyway, what better time to do a video showcasing the beta Halloween mission for Bully. In this video I'm also going to try and recreate the cutscenes, as there are loads of leftover audio files that go entirely unused in the final game. Originally, it was Gary Smith who gave Jimmy all the pranks to do, rather than Jimmy having to go around the school and accept these pranks from various members of various cliques. There are also 2 scrapped pranks as well, involving Eunice. The first scrapped prank would take place immediately after the cutscene ended, where Jimmy would actually have to kill a rat because Gary asked him to. There are loads of leftover audio files of Gary mocking Jimmy for this, and here they are.
See that rat? Get it, I'm allergic. Hurry up! What are you, afraid of a little rat? Looks like the rat is smarter than you. Rat versus Jimmy. Rat is winning. Stop playing with it, just catch it!
After Jimmy killed the rat, then they'd go and meet Petey. I don't know if Petey would still be in the bin or not, but either way, when you meet Petey, he actually says his usual line of how he looks like a jerk, and Jimmy Hopkins agrees with him and calls him a moron.
No, I look like a jerk.
Yeah, you do look like a moron.
Stop whining, let's go!
After meeting up, the boys proceed to go to the girls' dorm, as Gary wants to gross them out. Before deciding on Eunice as a target, there's actually a small cutscene in which Petey calls Gary a disturbed individual, to which Gary responds by telling Petey to shut up, bitch. The boys are then noticed by Eunice, and Jimmy proceeds to throw the rat at her.
Let's go to the girls' dorm and scare them.
Gary, you're one disturbed individual.
Shut up, bitch.
Oh, look at that creepy kid. Let's get out of here.
There, throw the rat at the fat girl.
Oh my god, what is that?
That was sort of funny.
After this, Gary mentions he has numerous pranks smuggled onto the campus. I'm going to guess Jimmy had to find these pranks, unlike the final game where people would just approach Jimmy with mini errands.
Let's go find some of those pranks I smuggled onto campus earlier.
The second cut prank involved Edna, and was rather simple. All Jimmy had to do was find the candy and leave it in the cafeteria for Edna to find. After this, Edna would eat the candy and proceed to be sick afterwards, and much to Jimmy and Gary's amusement. After this errand is done.
That's the joke candy I got. Pete, wait back here with me. You go feed the candy to that monster.
Trick or treat my arse! I'll give them some treats, all right. See how they like that? Ha! Oh, look! I found a candy still wrapped! How lucky!
The Volcano 4000 errand originally had Jimmy targeting the bullies, rather than anybody the player wishes to hurt. Gary has unused audio files where he tells Jimmy to put it near those guys by the parking lot. As we all know, only the bullies hang around by the parking lot.
Ah yes, the Volcano 4000, my favorite trick firework.
What's so special about it?
Let's go to the parking lot. You'll see. Set it off near those guys. What are you putting it there for? We only have one of those. Haha, nice one, Jimmy.
Let's get out of here while they're still stunned.
After this, another short cutscene will play, where Jimmy and Gary hide from the bullies, but Pete is unable to find a hiding spot because there's no room for him where Jimmy and Gary are hiding. I'm just going to assume that Jimmy and Gary are going to hide in a bush. After this, Pete gets kicked in the balls, presumably by the bullies. After they left, he'd asked Jimmy and Gary why they never helped him, to which Gary sarcastically responds with, "I don't want to mess up my costume."
Sorry, Pete, there's no room back here.
But, my balls!
Thanks for taking one for the team, Pete. You're such a trooper.
Why didn't you guys help me?
Sorry, I didn't want to ruin my costume.
The Kick Me prank had Jimmy sticking a Kick Me sign on a nerd rather than anybody he'd like. I can't confirm it too much, but Gary has an unused audio file where he references distracting people with a burning schoolhouse. I don't know if that means Gary was going to commit arson, or if he meant something else. I'm going to assume after this there's a cutscene where the nerd, I don't know who it is, but I'm just going to assume the cutscene was the nerd getting the shit kicked out of them again. Because Jimmy's next audio file is him asking Gary if they needed to victimise the nerds even more, to which Gary responds with a very simple yes.
Take this kick me note and stick it on the back of one of those nerds. I'll distract them with this burning schoolhouse.
Did we really need to help the nerds get victimized?
Yes.
The itching powder prank originally involved Mr. Burton and Dr. Slaughter. Gary would ask Petey to distract Mr. Burton, who is having a chat with Dr. Slaughter before Petey comes along. Petey asks Mr. Burton where his costume is, to which Mr. Burton responds with, "Under these shorts," which shocks Petey. Dr. Slaughter asks Petey what he's going as for Halloween. After Petey says he's a giant pink bunny, both Mr. Burton and Dr. Slaughter both mock Petey mercilessly. In fact, here's the entire cutscene. It's probably better if you listen to it rather than me explain what's going on.
What is this? Itching powder?
Yeah, and here comes Burton. Pete, go distract them so Jimmy can hit them with the itch.
Hey, Mr. Burton. Where's your costume?
I'm wearing it under these shorts.
Oh,
What's your costume?
I'm a giant pink bunny.
Child, you are pathetic.
That's so sad.
It was Gary's idea.
So you have another boy dress you, do you?
Well, if that's what you like, who am I to question it?
That's nonsense, Slaughter. How will the children grow into upstanding members of society if we let them run rampant?
You make a good point.
I think I'll be going now.
I'll be seeing you in the gym class, Thumper, and I'll be sure everyone will have a good laugh at your costume.
Please don't make fun of me in front of everyone in class.
You should have thought about that before you put on that wimpy furry costume, shouldn't you, bunny boy?
It's unknown where you'd actually encounter Mr. Burton and Dr. Slaughter, as they do mention Edna preparing punch for a party, which implies they're indoors. But if Petey was inside the school, he'd get in trouble for trespassing after school hours. And no one tells Petey he's not allowed to be here, so it's highly possible that they're outside.
Well, Pete, I hope you found it funny, because I'm sure the headmaster won't.
You think this is funny, bunny boy? I'll make you pay in class.
Let us go. I heard Edna's made special punch for the staff room.
The big prank actually wasn't changed much at all. The cutscene to the mission was going to be a bit longer than it was in the final game. After Gary reveals his big prank, Pete becomes slightly enraged by saying,
What the hell? I've been kicked in the balls, reported to the principal, and now you guys are messing around with dog shit? I'm out of here.
In the final game, only the first and last sentence are used. After Gary picks up the dog shit, Jimmy tells Gary he's actually scaring him a little bit.
You're starting to scare me now.
When they get into the school, Gary announces his plan. In the final game, all Jimmy does is drop the bag and Gary sets it on fire. In the beta, Jimmy would have to throw marbles in the hallway before Gary pulls the fire alarm. After Mr. Burton comes out, Gary says it's likely they'll both get expelled if they're caught. So Gary says he'd meet Jimmy back at the boys' dorm, and the mission then ends here.
Okay, here's the plan. I'll light the bag of crap on fire. You take these marbles and place them over there in the hallway.
Okay. You forgot to mention how we're gonna get someone to come out.
Leave that to me.
What the devil is going on out here? Oh, God damn kids! First giant pink bunny rabbits, now this! What's happening to this school?
Yeah, but listen, if they see us, they'll expel us for sure. Better head back to your room. See ya!
So judging from the beta audio files, it seems this mission was going to be the beginning of Gary going slightly crazy, as in this mission he's a lot crueler, especially to Pete. And also the fact that Gary also commits 2 fires at the school in a single night. Speaking of Gary also had a minor appearance change for this mission. Originally, Gary's uniform had a Nazi swastika on his uniform, specifically on his left arm. While it's no surprise why that was removed, if Rockstar kept the swastika on, it's likely Bully would have been banned in Germany. Germany has a very strict policy and many games that feature a Nazi swastika are banned. Examples include Call of Duty World at War's Nazi Zombies mode and Wolfenstein. Okay, while those games did feature a strong Nazi presence, Bully still would have been banned for the one use of the swastika. So because of this, we can assume Gary's original uniform was going to be like Edward Richter's from COD Zombies, just all black of course. Lastly, we have 3 specific Halloween weapons that go entirely unused in the final game. First of all, we have Casey's pitchfork. During Halloween, Casey was going to carry this around as an accessory to his devil costume. This weapon can be modded into the game, and if it's equipped by Jimmy, he can use it as he would with any other melee weapon. The animation used is a lunging animation. Pinky also added an accessory to go with her princess costume, and that accessory was a wand. And like Casey's devil pitchfork, it can be modded into the game and can be equipped by Jimmy. If equipped by Jimmy, he can attack people, but unlike Casey's weapon, rather than lunging or smacking someone across the head, the person who gets attacked would act like as if they were sprayed in the eyes with a spray can. Lastly, we have Joke Candy, which was going to be used as part of the scrap mini mission where Jimmy, Gary and Petey prank Edna. And that's all the information I could find about Beta Halloween, and thank you for watching.